Everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch League report. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Marr, and unfortunately Ben is feeling a little bit under the weather, so this one's going to be a bit shorter and it's only going to feature me. Let's get into what happened during week 3. In the first matchup on Thursday, the Philadelphia Fusion handled business against the Washington Justice, winning 3-1. Boston Uprising bounced back after a tough week in week 2 with a 3-1 victory over the Seoul Dynasty. The Mayhem and Charge went the distance with the Charge pulling it off a 3-2 overtime win. On Friday, the San Francisco Shock beat the Spark 3-1. LA fell to the Spitfire 2-1. NYXL beat the Toronto Defiant 3-1. Vancouver stays perfect with a 3-1 victory over the LA Valiant. Don't look now, but the Dragons are on a hot streak, winning 4-0 against the Hunters and bringing their win streak to 2. The Atlanta Reign handled the Paris Eternal 4-0. The Houston Outlaws won 3-1 over the Mayhem. San Francisco continued their good weekend with a 4-0 win over the Washington Justice. The Dragons and Fuel went to overtime, with Fuel eventually winning 3-2. On Sunday, the Toronto Defiant beat the Boston Uprising 3-1. The Spark beat the LA Gladiators 3-1. And even more problems for LA, with the Charge beating the Valiant 3-1. And closing out the week, we had NYXL beating the Seoul Dynasty 3-1. So like I said, Ben's not going to be joining us for this episode, so it's going to be a bit shorter. So I just want to touch on some general topics. First thing I want to talk about is Shanghai, who improved to 2-0 before finally losing to the Fuel, but they're looking much improved. Gamsu coming over from the Uprising looks like it's a great move for them. He adds a different dimension that they didn't have last season, obviously, as they didn't win any games last season and they already won 2 in this stage. But on that note, let's talk a little bit about winless teams. Right now we have the Washington Justice, which Ben and I ranked them as probably the worst expansion team when we were doing our preseason rankings, and so far that has held true, as they are 0-4 with a map differential of -9. A little bit surprising, though, is LA Valiant. They did quite well last year, and we expected them to do well again, but they're sitting 0-5. They're 20th in the league at the moment with a map differential of -7. And the trouble doesn't stop there for LA, because the Gladiators, also a good team from last year, are 1-4 with a -7 map differential. So realistically, there's almost no chance for LA to be represented in the stage 1 playoffs, which is a shock not only to us, but I think to a lot of the viewers of the league generally. And kind of another surprise in one of the bottom half of the league are the Seoul Dynasty. We expected them to be a little bit better, but they just have not had it together. They lost both of their matches this week, which brings them to a disappointing 2-3 record. And their map differential is actually 0. They've won 10, lost 10. So hopefully they can kind of turn it around as the rest of the stage goes, but I wouldn't count on them making the playoffs. On the other side of the coin, though, we have teams like the Atlanta Reign, a big surprise. They are 3-1 with a +9 map differential. That's right, they've gone 13-4 over all the various maps. Dafran, he's pulling off crazy moves. The team is just looking great. They're playing together as a solid unit, and they're going to be one to watch. They're currently in 3rd place in the league. We all kind of expected the Vancouver Titans to be quite good. Granted, they've had 2 weeks so far where they've only played 1 match, including this week, but they're 4-0. They've won every match that they've played, some in dramatic fashion. They are +9 in map differential, going 13-4 as well, and they just look like a team that could potentially contend for a stage 1 title. However, standing in their way at number 1, New York Excelsior. They are 6-0. They have an absurd +12 map differential. They are 18-6-1 on all the maps. They look just like the team that dominated the league last year. They're on the verge of dominating it once again. I don't know who could potentially stop them going forward. I think at this point, this is a pretty popular opinion that they are the odds-on favorite to win this stage, And unless something crazy happens with the meta, they're going to be the favorites moving forward. I guess we'll close this episode out. Right now, GOATs, that's going to be the prevailing meta for the rest of this stage, no doubt, until we can get an update, until we can get Baptiste in the game to maybe change some stuff. We just have to get used to it. I know it's not really the most popular thing right now. I believe in week 2, people were even booing when a team came out and then went back in and changed, which is not a great look for the Overwatch League. But for now, we just have to deal with it. I think the one thing that is good about it is it adds a kind of randomness to the game. So there doesn't seem to be as big a difference between like the middle tier teams. Obviously at the top and the bottom, those teams are very clearly good and very clearly bad, but there's a lot of parity in the middle, which is exciting because that means there can be a lot of changes as we go forward, and different teams could potentially vie for the stage 1 playoffs. So all is not lost with GOATs. I know everyone's dying for a meta change, but for now we just gotta roll with it. So that's about it. Thank you everyone so much for checking out this video. Leave me a comment down below. Who's the biggest surprise to you? That could be biggest surprise in terms of being good, such as the Atlanta Reign. Are you guys surprised about that? Or biggest surprise in terms of being bad? Obviously, nobody thought the Valiant were going to be 0-5 at this point. So leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you subscribe. If you really liked it, make sure you also like the video and hit the bell notification. And if you're into Overwatch content, keep it right here on Wicked Everything. You can follow us on Twitter at WGEverything, on Instagram at WickedGoodEverything, of course on Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedGoodEverything, and YouTube, youtube.com/WickedGoodEverything, which is, you know, where you're watching unless you just stumbled upon it. That's where you can find us there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Brian Moore. This has been the Overwatch League Report. Have a good day.